shine Samano ndivunza wanonetsa nekudaira Kanzi munu uyu anokete semagaiva Munu akadai hapana anomujaita Hapana zekuramba, ndizo zekutamba Counting on me, nobaro wane manamba Kana kumabos, tichatumira matamba Kana muri kure tichashika nekufamba Tokwira mabas, tichashika kuharare Mazuva anotongo zitaura zendo zitare Kana kupesa kumpa kushika mbare
Hey, welcome to the Shebeen Kings. Oh, special. Good vibes going on. Tonight it is on accolades, on top of accolades.
Ooh, and he is a Sable. He is a Sable forever. He is a Sable. So today we have former Sables, former Cheetahs, and kind of rugby fan always, Jeff Tigere from Zimbabwe. Nice to have you today, the Shebeen. Yeah, welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice one.
How are you feeling?
Thanks, Jeff, for the invitation.
Yeah.
Very excited to be in Achim first time, and I'm enjoying it.
Is that your first time in the Shebeen as well?
First time in the Shebeen as well.
Yeah.
I've been in Zimbabwe, but I've never been to one.
Yeah.
First time to be in one in Germany.
In Germany.
That makes it special.
Hey, cheers.
Special.
Am I missing something? Did
Yeah.
I not get the memo?
Oh, you get the memo, like, so yeah, so...
Hey, what's going on there?
Yeah, you know, man.
You're wearing the hats, the bucket hats.
You're missing out, man.
Hey, bro, get
Do
you-
something. Do something.
Yeah!
There you go. 1, 2, 3.
Hey! I think we're good. So you fancy stay with the bucket hats, huh?
Yeah, it's a bucket thing.
The
Man.
bucket thing, right? I was going back, no.
Hey, like we say, Jeff Tigere is here.
Hey, by the way.
Professional rugby player.
Sorry. By the way, they want to sign us on those dates.
Oh.
Yeah, so after the show, please come, let's talk.
Sure, we'll go sit there and say that I have no problem. Thank you. So apart from the crowd, we got a crowd, we got a live crowd watching the show right now.
Yes, there's always a man behind the scenes, and hey, shout out to whoever's behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Big up to yourselves, King Zoro behind the camera. Get to know and follow the guy. Hey, but it's
Wait,
fire.
we're talking about following and liking. So before you watch the episode, we'd like you to please like and subscribe. It's right at the bottom there. Press subscribe. It's important. There's gonna be more content to you throughout. So yeah, so let's continue, man. So you're the Koma Jeff.
Come on, Jeff. Yes. Can you call you that?
No problem. I feel honored to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. No, it's our pleasure to have you around. Like, Kuma Jeff is a professional, former professional rugby player, and everybody has it. It didn't start with rugby. Before that there was something else. There was another sport which had taken your heart.
So true.
Yes.
My heart was taken by basketball. I was a basketball player.
Yes.
And it was my life. Basketball was my life. And I stumbled into rugby. During our off-season basketball, we lost in the finals because we were unfit. And one of my best friends who used to play rugby as well and basketball, he's like, hey guys, if you guys want to get fit, come to rugby training every Monday. We always do fitness. This was by Old Metonians Rugby, and we're always there every Monday doing fitness. And
Running around, getting fit.
we're getting fit.
So you see rugby. I mean, you used to train with the guys, like just the running aspect.
Just the running aspect.
Did you then see like, okay, fine, this is what I would like to do? Like, did you click at that time?
Not really. For me, it was just like running. Nothing more. And the last game of the season, he was having a game at home. We're like, guys, we're going to support the guy and support the team for hosting us during the off season.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go support them the last game at home and cheer up the guys.
Yeah, why not?
And
So the home game against which team? Old Veterans.
Old Metonians against Highlanders,
Highlanders.
which was a rival, and one of my guys like, hey Jeff, I missed my lifts to go to training. Can you give me a ride to go to training? I'm like, okay, no problem. He used to stay next to me. Took him to training, to the game, sorry, and drive him back home and waiting for another half an hour. I'd come back again. I was like, it's a waste of fuel. Let me just stay here and watch the guys warm up and everything. And they were short of a guy.
No way.
And then they were like, the captain was like, there's one guy who's always in training every Monday. He's up there. I saw him there, he's fit. You can get him to sit on the bench.
Okay.
Although we're not going to use him. And then they came say, you're going to come in. I'm like, I don't even know how to play rugby. I got no boots, I got nothing. Like, don't worry, what size you wear? They asked me a pair of boots. I sat on the bench. As a prop.
Wow.
Prop is a big boy, and I was so tiny. I was like, okay, sit on the bench. You're not gonna come in. You're just there as backup, just in case the ref decides to say, do you have a front row? And I'm like, okay, I sit on the bench. In the last 20 minutes of the game, the front row player got hurt. We utilized all our subs. And the coach was like, you know what? You gotta go in now. All you just gotta do is in the scrum, just put your head in there and stand.
Like where? Like just put your head in there.
And I got in there. I even remember the first scrum in my life was like, I didn't even know where to put my head and where to hold. And the ref stopped the game. Like, hey, stop, guys. He even asked, do you know where you have to put your head? I'm like, no. Like, you need to put your head just between these two guys here. That's where your head goes in. I was in as a tatted prop.
So sorry to interrupt, guys.
After the pressure, I was like, you getting pressure from front and the back, and I was like, the moment the ball went in, I saw the ball coming out, I was quickly out of it, and the coach was like, this guy is not a prop, he's quick. You need to use him as a flanker.
Okay, so that's how it started.
That's how it started.
Position. Amazing.
Wow.
Hey, those of you who don't know much about rugby, if you probably watch rugby on TV, like there's something they call a ruck, and it's when they all just bump into each other. So that's when they talk about
Ruck, scrum,
And come on, Jeff.
Yes, sir.
And talking about what you're talking about, in which year is this? Like,
This was 98.
Okay.
1998. Wow. A lot of people watching the show probably weren't born.
Yeah, because you know.
2000.
I'm a 2000. We still love you though.
We still love you though. We appreciate you.
So you stopped playing rugby. This is year
1998, that's when I started playing rugby.
Yeah.
And at the end of the season, I was nominated into the so-called World Cup qualification pool with more than 100 players in Zimbabwe to go into camp to select the final squad, which was going to go represent Zimbabwe for the World Cup qualifiers.
Wow. So it's a 22-man squad, or how big was the squad?
The squad was 100 people.
Yeah.
Harare, Blawayo, Mandela,
so
Big Base.
Yeah.
And the final squad which was selected was with 40 players.
Okay.
And those 40 players had to go into camp in South Africa. And I made that cut.
Wow.
And I hadn't had the passport. Then I was like, oh,
South Africa.
I got no passport, I can't go to South Africa. And they're like, don't worry, we organize the passport for you.
Wow.
And those days used to take 3-4 months to get a passport.
Yeah.
I got a letter from Zero and within a week,
Passport's out.
I went to go apply for my passport, handed in my papers, signed everything, and I was like, okay, I have to wait another 3 weeks or 3 months or so. And when I handed in my forms on the last window, they asked me like, when do you want to collect your passport? Today or tomorrow? And I was so in shock. I'm like, can I come in 2 hours?
Efficiency, yeah?
Yeah, why not? You know people, why not?
Things move fast.
Yeah, they move fast. Yeah.
Move fast.
We're not on the same day, right?
So you made the you made it for the World Cup qualifiers.
Qualifiers camp in
Yeah.
South Africa.
And this, like, about 2-3 years later, right? Like, so you must be really good to just be.
Actually, this was a year later.
Wow.
And you just started.
Naturally, I'm a sportsman.
Okay.
As I said, I was a basketball player. Started playing first team basketball in high school when I was in Form 2, under 15s, and in Form 3 won the National League Championship for nationals, and I started playing club level at age of 15 for Highlanders basketball club.
Yeah.
Boso,
Boso.
yeah, Boso Ngenkani.
Also Audrey, if you watch our episode, Audrey also played volleyball for Highlanders as well. So Highlanders, I guess, is breeding the right talent.
Yeah, Highlanders, at that time, I must say, Highlanders was a big club, and our coach was the late Jackson Cow. He was a legend of basketball in Zimbabwe. He was coaching our school, and he saw me under 15s and was like, hey, that youngster there, I need him to come and play for the club. That's how I ended up playing for club level.
Okay.
So you played rugby for 1-2 years, and then you are voted Zimbabwe's best player of the season. This was what, year 2001?
This was year 2002, just before I left for Germany.
Yeah.
I was also surprised because everything was new, and for me 2002 was also like kind of like a, how can I say it, deciding time whether to carry on with rugby or to stop.
Yeah.
Because for us as Old Metonians in the histories, Old Metonians was a dominant rugby club.
Yeah.
And most of the old boys retired in 2001. That was their last season.
Okay.
And then 2002 season started. I was more like the senior player, coach and player and captain and
Just the same thing.
and manager all in one. So I remember our first game we played against Greater Sports Club. There were like 7 different jerseys, but all number 7s, and we had 4 number 5s, 2, 3, 4, 5 number 1s.
Yeah.
We were like, even before the game, we were like, coach, ref, now we have a problem with our kids. Our kid hasn't yet arrived, so we're using old jerseys. And we had a lot of kids from Milton High School.
Okay.
They came in with their kids from Milton, from school, because we had the same colors.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's how was our first game. And at that time I was working for a company called Truscon. And my boss was a fanatic for sports.
Yeah.
Big up to Conrad Pendy.
Okay.
Thank you very much for the beginnings. From Owen, what we did, he organized the kit for us.
Okay.
And then the second game we had a full kit sponsored by Truscon Private Limited.
Oh. Hey,
Cheers to the captain, to the manager. So that was a role made for you, huh?
He was meant to be, yeah.
So come on, Jeff. So you come to Germany. You can move to a club called Ruders Gesellschaft Heidelberg.
Yes, which is a means it's a rowing club.
Okay.
But because rowing is only in summer and in winter, the guys were like deciding, okay, we need to carry on doing sport. Then they started rugby because rugby is a winter sport. That's how it comes.
Okay.
Rugby, AGH, Ruder Gesellschaft Heidelberg Rugby Club.
Yes, so you come that year 2002, and directly in that year, you are a German sevens champion.
Not directly that year. I came in 2002.
Yeah.
Played the beginning of the season because the season starts in September. And we go on a winter break in December. And I was meant to be here for 3 months. Came 3 months. After 3 months, I was like, okay, I'm going back to Zim. And the club was like, hey, look, we really appreciated your input here. You're a good player. We would want you to come back. Are you willing to come back? I'm like, yeah, no problem. I can come back. Then 2013, February, I came back, finished the season in April, June.
Yeah.
And usually after the 15th season is finished, 2 weeks later, there's a sevens championship where they select for their national sevens team.
Okay.
And that time, it was 2003. The sevens was in Munich. During the October 7th first time being at the October 7th and October Beer Fest and
So drinks afterwards, huh?
we went there as a team.
Nice. So
We
you
did
actually-
our best.
So you actually had your what's what they call it in Germany, the Hose.
No, those days I didn't even know anything about those things. We just came to Munich, played our game, and we won the sevens championship.
Wow.
And
Respect. Hey. Was there half-times beer there, or was it just like that?
it was just those days because rugby was more like a professional. And I was coming back from Zimbabwe, coming to Germany, I'm like, oh, it's professional. You gotta keep it professional.
Yeah.
So no drinks, always fitness and look after your diet and everything. But getting to know the guys,
It was amazing.
it was amazing.
Man, wow. what an
Winning the
experience.
sevens championship, that must have been a big.
For me, it was a big thing,
Yes.
especially winning a championship in a foreign land.
Yeah. And
But-
you just almost there, like you just got there and pretty much like you.
And pretty much I'm in the top,
Yeah.
which was great for me.
So to talk about rugby, like how would you compare the level of rugby in Germany and Zimbabwe? I mean, if you look at the world rankings right now, Germany is number 31 and Zimbabwe is number 33 according to IRB rankings.
Yeah.
Would you say that we're that close competitively with Germany? If we were to put Zimbabwe versus Germany today,
If I do that, Zimbabwe versus Germany 1-1.
1-1.
Zimbabwe play better, more rugby as Germany, although the rankings they don't really give the right positions, because if you look at it, Jamaica is ranked above Zimbabwe and Germany. They don't play much rugby, and these rankings they go according to how much international games you play, and because Zimbabwe doesn't have that much international games, so their rankings will never go up because
They don't play that many.
they don't play that many games. And Germany, they're playing more games, and the teams that are playing against here in Europe, they are, you got what they call Six Nations, and then they got an A6 Nations where you got teams like Russia, Georgia that are not qualifying for the Six Nations. And Germany is actually in the B division, where you got the weaker teams like Holland, Belgium, I think Moldavia, those teams that are really low in the rugby rankings.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're saying that pretty much that the ranking system doesn't work
Does not.
compared to the German
It,
system.
it doesn't work that much because if you had to look at the rankings, in the world rankings, for example, teams like South Africa and New Zealand, they play more games, and the teams that are playing against, they are more competitive as well, and they got ranked according to how they play. But you got teams, if you play weaker teams like Botswana and stuff like that, definitely your rankings will go up because you are playing weak teams and you are winning, and they just think on winning, and they don't like look at how competitive
The game
your
was
opponents
instead.
are.
Yeah, because in the day it's a huge game and we by huge margins rugby.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the
It's already
thing.
huge margins.
It's,
But how was it like adjusted to Germany? Like as of course as a person from under another color, a black person, or was it adjusted to the system, to the rugby system?
to the system, they say rugby is a family sport,
Yes.
which is true. When I came here, I was a foreigner. I was the only black guy in the team, but all the players took me as a part of the family, and but then now and again you got this racists coming from supporters. I remember the one game we played in. It was a cup game. We played in Berlin, Ost Berlin. Yeah, Ost Berlin, and during the Hitler era, Ost Berlin was known as one of the places that was like, how can I put it, like against Jews and stuff like that. So
Anti-Semitic people.
yeah, and got there, and luckily enough, my teammates were like, Jeff, where we are now, it's in Ost Germany. These guys, they kind of like
Do their own way.
so don't be offended when they start calling you names and like. So I didn't expect. I was like, okay, no problem, because I was used of the appetite in South Africa, where in South Africa I would be called names, but on a field, it comes in here and comes out the other ear.
You're focused on the game.
Because you're focused on the game. And we were leading the team 2-0, and one of the guys broke through. On his way to the try line, I came across as a cover-up defense, tackled the guy 2 meters before the try line.
Showstopper.
And they call it like try-saving tackle, so to say.
Yeah.
And that's when I got to know the crowd.
Yes.
Oh.
Must have been like,
It was really bad.
yeah.
And this happened in the first half of the game. And you can imagine 40 minutes later, the crowd, every time I catch the ball, there were boos and calling of names. And luckily enough, at that time, I didn't understand much of German. So all the names they were calling, they were all in German, and I couldn't understand what they were calling. On the other side, which was good for me,
Good for you,
because
you're focused
I didn't care, I was focused on the game.
Yeah, true.
Only after the game, when I was asking my teammates, like, hey, what does this word mean? What does this word mean? And then they started explaining, like, oh shit.
These guys were giving me these bad
It
names.
was really bad, but for me it didn't matter. The game was over and I was already on the train back to Heidelberg.
Yeah.
You win that game.
Money in the bank.
Yes, we won the
And you won the
game.
And you won the game. and the bank account was ticking. as
Yeah, the bank account was ticking as well.
Hey, I'm up. Yeah.
So I mean, you've had luck. You said, like, being a club that accommodated you. But I think the same hasn't been said with your experience with police here in Germany. That's been something that's tough for you.
That's very tough for me. There was it even came out big in the papers and everything.
Yeah, we saw it. Definitely saw
Yeah, and it was. That's where you realize that you may be here in Germany, everyone gives you a smile, but you got those people that always got that hate in them. Say, oh, this is a different person, this is from Africa, or color skin, or Jew, or whatever land you're coming from. And I happened to have a phone call with one of the guys from Gambia, who I met in town, and he was like, look, I need help. Do you have books for Germany? I need to learn Germany. And because I'd learned Germany and I still had my old books, I'm like, I know, I've got books, I can give you my books, and because I don't need them anymore. So I met up with him, and he was staying not far from where I was staying, that was in Kirchheim. So I went to meet him at the bus station. We got there. I was sitting there waiting for the train to come. So when he came, the train had already gone. The tram had already gone. So we waited. We were sitting there. I gave him the books. They were in my bag. Took them out. Someone in the neighborhood just saw me sitting there.
Karen.
And then
Karen, wherever you can.
they were like, phone the police. Like, we saw a guy, and at that time it was the time where there was bombs being exploding in Weihnachtsmarkt and place like that here in Germany. So when they saw me with a backpack, talking with this guy, jumped into the tram, going to town. I gave him the books, and they called the police. So when we getting into town, I'm like, we're just sitting there, and as usual, next minute you see cops running through the windows, the cops running all over the place. The train stopped, and before I knew it, the cop was right next to me, stand up and shouting, screaming, and I was like shocked, and they just stopped and like, hey, what's the problem? Is there anything? It's like, I know, it's just a normal control. I'm like, hey, I saw you guys coming from the front there. You never stopped to anyone to control. You just came direct to me and controlled, and like, so like, why straight to me? Do I look suspicious, or is it because of my skin color? And they were like, no, just, but you don't have to tell me to get out, because I've got an appointment. I got to meet my appointment. Here in Germany, time is efficient. If you're not there at your time, you've lost. So I'm like, if I jump out here and this tram goes, the next one I take is coming in 10 minutes. I'm gonna miss my appointment. But if you guys say it's a control, I can give you guys my ID and everything. And like, no, you gotta come. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere.
I told you I've got a meeting.
I got a meeting. I'll give you my ID. Then you can check whatever you're checking, but I'm not jumping off. And in that moment, when I put my hand in my pocket to take my wallet out, the guys jumped onto me, twisted me, and in the moment, my shoulder was dislocated and I was handcuffed and
embarrassed if I ever know.
In front of everyone, and people were looking like, what's going on? And I'm like, guys, my shoulder, and for them it was like I'm a terrorist. And after all this incident, they didn't even check my ID or my bag or anything. All they were interested is that I don't move. And then there came about 3 other police cars, and from those cops that came, in the end there was like 8 cops around. And luckily, one of the guys was an old guy. He came there, he got there, he's like, hey, what's the problem? We hear you guys have got a problem. And then I said to him, look, my shoulder is hurting, it's dislocated, and these guys, I'm telling them they need to
Let my cut the cuffs off so I can
look
just
up so that I can put my hand in front because it was at the back.
Yeah.
And the more it's out,
Yeah.
the more pain it is.
Yes.
And then the first thing the guy was like, remove the handcuffs. And then the guys were like, we can't remove the handcuffs. He's like, no, he's not fighting. He's telling you guys what's wrong with him.
Yeah.
Listen, remove the handcuffs, and then we can. It's like, okay, ID. I gave them my ID. They checked in their database. They checked my bag.
Yeah.
It was just books.
Oh.
And from a big thing, there was nothing actually. And they were like, and I'm like, okay, so what's the way forward now?
What's the way forward? Yeah.
My shoulder is dislocated. I need to go to hospital. They're like, no. There's nothing to do with you. I'm like, okay, no problem. You know what?
Wow.
Luckily enough, I was well known in Heidelberg and got myself onto the tram, went to Atos Clinic. They looked at it and they
Put it back.
put it back, and I had to do an MRT.
Wow.
And the results came out. I got the results a day later. They call it my ligaments was overstretched, and that moved me back from sport.
So you're an athlete. You're thinking like you're an athlete as well. So you also have your body to protect because that's your
Life.
Yeah,
machine, that's your
that's
motivation.
that's the machine,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a career.
So now this happens, and this is not your first incident with the police, right? It's the second
No,
one.
it's not the first incident, and all the time I've had all these incidents with the police.
Yeah.
During the day, they just stop you and like, are we doing random tests?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you smoked?
Have
Do
you
you
smoked?
take weed? Or I'm like,
it's also because I know you have dreadlocks in Command Jeff. Is it also the dreadlocks as well? Is that
I think it's because of the dreadlocks and. But those are things where you come across. The one time we stopped, was my teammate coming from lunch. Two of us, he's a German and I'm Zimbabwean. We got stopped, just a normal control.
Yeah.
Like, okay, no problem. We gave them our IDs. And I was asked to strip.
wow?
And
Strip,
I'm like
undress.
undress everything. I'm like, how come he's not
Wow.
undressing and I'm the only one? Like, I know. He's German. You're not German, and we are suspecting him.
That's
And for me, that was like, those are the times where I always cater, like, why did I even come here? But
yeah.
all in all, Germany is a good place, but you get one or two of those guys that always.
You've been through a lot with this racism thing in Germany. What piece of advice would you have for someone who's new, who's coming to Germany right now and may experience certain things, or even not Germany alone, but any country that may be a bit hostile towards them?
Well, I just say is, you just gotta tough it up, because if you try and give in to their negativity, they win. If you just stay there, stay calm, do whatever they want you to do, and be yourself,
Yes, sir.
that's the only way you can win them. Because you cannot do anything against racism.
Yeah.
People are not born racist, but it's something that they learn. And that's something, as for me, I realize I don't have to try and fight against it. Even until today, I get guys that are coming, talking things where I just let it come in here and go out there. Because if I try and react to everything,
Yes, yeah.
You've always been an angry man.
you're always an angry man. And I'm not an angry man. I'm a happy man.
It's a gentle giant.
It's a gentle giant, so to say.
hey. It's nice to be on a lighter note because that was really
deep. Wow.
Yeah, that was deep.
On a lighter note, Greg, on your rugby career, then you decide at some point, I'm going to transfer from rugby. I'm going to be a coach now. And how was that adjusting now being a coach and achievements upon achievements?
Yeah, it was hard transaction because I like being in the action.
Yeah. Yes.
And it started off when I got hurt with my injury. I couldn't play, and during that time I had a hip dislocation. I was out for almost a year, and during that time, that's when I was like helping out, coaching. I even coached a ladies team, SCN Neuenheim,
Okay.
and which is one of our enemy clubs,
Okay.
Derby Club, but I was coaching their women's team, and at the same time I was coaching.
Smart.
I was coaching our under 12, so I was like in between. But for me, it was a good experience. I was getting involved in like still with rugby, although me myself I couldn't be part of the players or of the pitch.
Yeah.
So all I would do was from outside talking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I retired from rugby. I think it was 2013. I was like, okay, I'm stopping rugby.
Yeah.
I totally stopped everything, rugby, training, everything.
For a while.
For a while. After a while, I put on, I was about 140 kilos, and I'm like, damn, I look like I need to do something. Then I started training again, started getting fit.
Wow.
And then my coach was like, hey, Jeff, I see you training again. We got our first home game at home. We are short of players. Players are injured. Some players are still on holiday. Maybe you can sit on the bench. And I'm like, on the bench, no problem. I can sit on the bench. The game started.
Again, just like I said in the beginning, right?
Yeah, just from the beginning, I'm on the bench. There, I'm like, okay, I'm just sitting on the bench. It's a cover up. And 20 minutes into the game, the guy got hurt. Jeff, you gotta go in. Oh.
He fits himself.
Then I was in, and the crowd was like, hey, where was this guy all along? Why did he stop playing rugby? They thought I was injured, and after the game, everyone was like talking to me. Jeff, you need to come back. Look how good you are. I'm like, guys, I just need a break. But then it was a bit too much. Everyone is like, Jeff, we need you in. And then I was like, look, guys, this is a team sport. Club was my family. Rugby is a family club. And then I came back into the game. I played again. And my last game was 2017 in the first Bundesliga. And this was also at that time I was already like an assistant coach to the club.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, and the coach was like, Jeff, we need you to sit on the bench because the guys are sick. And I'm like,
something about you and the bench.
yeah, me and the bench.
It's like,
You know, but we gotta take a commercial break. So we'll take a commercial break.
Yeah.
We'll be back to the story where we left it. So yeah, stay tuned. 100%. Shebeen Kings.
Hey, when you see them walking in a slow motion, Banengevaro Wakuka Makafela, lead the youth in the right direction.
Okay, yeah, so we're back from the commercial break. So yeah, please remember to like and subscribe to Shebeen Kings, please. So yeah, so come on, Jeff, we're talking about your journey here in Germany, and then now we're moving to life after playing. So what's taking place? So what's life after being a professional athlete like?
It's not an easy transaction. And I never had someone in front of me to give the pathway, to give
guide
me
you, let you
advice,
know,
to
yeah.
guide me.
Yeah.
And this is my advice to all the young guys that are watching there.
Yeah.
It's good to play professional sport and stuff like that. But make sure the books are important. You need to have a backup plan.
Okay.
Because if it does happen that you get hurt today or tomorrow and you can't play sport anymore, you need to have something to fall back into. And for me, luckily enough, I didn't have that much of an injury career where I couldn't carry on with sport. But at the same time, I managed to organize my sporting activities so that after rugby, I've got something to fall back on.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I build kitchens, industrial kitchens. I'm fully employed, and on the side, I'm still involved with rugby as a coach, and now and again I play with the second team just to help the young kids, give them a better experience on the pitch.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing now at the moment.
Perfect. So you guys heard it there.
Inspiring words.
All the sports, young sports people out there, there's a life after sport.
Yeah.
You need to do everything you can to prepare for that part. And then Koma Jeff has said that there's no one to always hold your hand there. It's a process of self-learning, self-discovery, all about that.
Yeah.
So Koma Jeff, so you mentioned that you're now doing coaching now.
Yes.
And you focus mainly on young teams. I see that you've won, I think, is it almost 4 under 18 sevens.
Wow.
Rugby championships in Germany
Accolades.
as a coach.
Hey.
Thank you.
Wow.
So you like the development side of things?
Yes, I like the development side of the things, and before I went into the development side, I also coached our club first team.
Okay.
And as a coach with the club first team, we won 5 German championships in a row.
In a row.
5
times in a row.
So, and my last season as a coach, this was 2019. We won the German Cup, and unfortunately we lost in the finals for the German championships.
Oh,
But we did win the sevens.
Yeah. Oh,
We did the double.
The double.
It could have been a triple. But, unfortunately, things didn't go our way.
Yeah.
But
Wow. Hey, pages, keep writing pages. Accolades, keep writing accolades. Hey. That's a long CV. I think.
it is a long CV. But the last thing I would like to say to all the young guys there, remember, don't think of what you have today. Always live today and don't think about what happened yesterday. You got another day to live for.
Wow. Inspiring.
And that's how you go for, you progress. Think to do better than what you did yesterday. That's the only way you can do it.
Thank you so much. That's so inspiring. So inspiring. It's so inspiring from Mr. Jeff. Thank you so much for coming to the Shebeen tonight. It was a good time. It was a good interview with him. This would not be possible. Special shout out to King Zoro.
King Zoro!
Follow him on Instagram. King Zoro, we'll put out the link down there.
100%.
Definitely.
We're definitely going to be doing a lot more of this often. So yeah, so thank you so much to our viewers and subscribers. Thank you so much, you guys out there. We love you. We're coming with more content. And yeah, again, to Mkoma Jeff, thank you so much for gracing the Shebeen Kings. We're going to continue after this and have a few more drinks and share a bit more experiences like you normally do in the Shebeen. So have a good night, have a good day, wherever you are. Peace and love from the Shebeen.
Peace.